Welcome to Tuesday Talks, and I'm Darleen, obviously. Hello, I'm Darleen, and my special guest is Brenda from Soul Life Adventure. Now, Brenda began her personal growth journey in 2017 after experiencing professional and personal challenges. She realized to get the transformation and inner strength she desired, she would need to invest in personal growth. Now, I'm so excited to talk to Brenda because we were just chatting before, and everything that Brenda does is like, oh my goodness, I want to talk about that. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Darlene. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And so we were actually talking about mindset, the power of vision, befriending our fear, and also what's called the RAS. Now, I know that because I've been in the healthcare field, but a lot of people may not actually understand. So first off, let's talk about you and your beautiful business.
Okay, yes, my company is called Soul Life Adventure. And the reason why I called it like that is because we all have a soul, and the purpose of our soul is to come on this life to have an adventure, to grow it, to learn from it, and grow ourselves to the better version of ourselves. And we always have a better version of ourselves if we allow it. So that's the reason why I came up with Soul Life Adventure. But my programs, we talk about gaining clarity. And when we gain clarity on what is it that you would love to create in your life, and you create it by design, by committing to the decision that you're going to do this. And the other one is as you said, like befriending our fears. We're all going to have fear, but as long as we don't have fear have us. Right.
Yeah.
So we have this RAS, which you mentioned, which is the reticular activating system in our subconscious mind. And its sole job is to keep us in our comfort zone, into it's the little voice that's going to tell us, like, well, you did that and you were embarrassed. I'm keeping you to be embarrassed again. Why would you want to go and hike in Nepal because you don't like cold water? You're going to sleep in cold to be in tea houses, and like it's all that keeps us to place our at minimum level.
Yeah.
But my workshops kind of encompasses that, and helps to gain clarity on the clients.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And
Yeah.
for me, the rest also, like when someone mentions, okay, so now you're going to see blue cars, and of course you do, because
Yes.
put
Yes.
it into your mind.
Yeah, exactly. It is. And for me, I was playing the other day I was like, okay, so every time I'm going to see 1111 or 555 or 444, it's kind of like playing with the universe. I'm just throwing it out there because I do believe in my intuition and that still small voice that we have inside of us. And so I was like, okay, let me play with this. And now, like today, I saw 1111, 111, 555, and 333.
Oh, I
It's like,
love
okay,
it.
this is fun.
It is. And that's what, like visioning is about, having fun with it.
Yeah, yeah. And the other thing that I teach in my programs is I have 5 different programs, which is all about the mindset. But the base core of it, it touches on the laws of the universe. It touches about your 6 mental faculties. It touches about like how to bring it all together and actually create the life you love. But I have the laws of the universe. Everybody knows the laws of attraction, but there's 10 more. When you get to learn them, and it's a science basically, so you get to play with it a little bit more. So what I teach, I coach, is that we don't need to know the how. We just need to know the what. What is it you want to create in your life? And just if you've got a fallback, it's not necessarily a fallback. You have to bring back your way into what you want to create.
Yeah, I absolutely love that, because that was me. Like, I've been using my intuition for, yeah, a long time now. I won't say how long, but
Yeah,
like, and for me, because I'd worked in the healthcare field, so I was really well and truly, it's got to be this way. I need to know how. I need to know why. I need to know all of this universe. Give it to me. And it's like, when you actually let go and go, okay, universe, this is what I want. I'm going to take action, but this is what I want. Give it to me, and then have fun with it.
yeah. And that's the key word you just said there, is taking action,
Mm,
right? Because we have one of our six mental faculties is will. And the will is to make a command and have the will to take that action
mhm,
to create what you want to create.
mm.
So I know The Secret is a beautiful movie. I love it. But even John Arasaf had said they're missing a little
Mhm,
ingredient in there. It's not only imagination and visualization,
mhm.
it's and the laws of attraction, it's actually taking action.
Yes. Yeah, and I agree
Baby
with
steps.
mm,
Baby steps will take us to Mount Everest, that's for sure, but you
yeah.
have to take that step.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's where a lot of people, books, courses, no out there have missed that. It's like, yeah, just imagine it, just say to the universe what you want. And of
Yeah,
course it'll come. Well, no,
no,
we're actually human
no.
beings. We've got to take action as well. So the universe knows she really does want that.
Yeah.
Mm,
And well, the three keys that I teach is gaining clarity on what is it that you
mm,
like in four quadrants of our life, which is love and relationship, time, money, freedom, your vocation, which is your career, and the fourth one is your health,
mm,
basically. And the second key is decision.
mm,
If you're like wobbly
mhm.
and well, the universe is not going to work with you. But if you commit to whatever your heart desires and you say, okay, I'm doing this,
Mm,
the magic starts to happen. It's
mm,
incredible. Even like for me, like it's like I was like, what?
mhm.
But it did.
It does. Yeah, I agree with that, because, I left the healthcare field and said, okay, I want a business. But I was wishy-washy about a lot of things. I kept changing my niche. I kept changing this and that. And then as soon as I made that commitment and went, this, it's like, whoa, it was
Yeah,
incredible. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So for me, my background, I have an international business in import export.
Hmm.
I love international laws and regulation, which is all up here,
Hmm.
right? It's not about a heart, it's all
Yep.
up here, which goes against it's kind of like two different people in one person.
Mhm.
So basically it's logic.
Mm,
It's logic of it. So when I had burnout,
mm,
and that's how I was like, okay, this something is no longer working for me.
mm,
So I got into these programs that
mm.
I'm the product of the product,
Yeah.
basically, of what I'm
Mm,
teaching, coaching. So but it's when I listen to my intuition, and they say ask for a leave of absence,
mm.
and I did. I was so scared, but I did. And then when they said no to me, I knew right away what I needed to do.
Wow.
I said, thank you. You guys made your decision. Now it's up to me to make my decision.
Mhm,
And I knew at that moment what was my decision.
mm,
And since then, so basically, my industry of import export, there was not any a consultant.
mm.
So the company who certified me gave me my designation of professional logistic. Um, uh, I contacted them and said like a consultant and all that stuff. They said no, it doesn't exist. So I resigned from my day job, thinking I'm going to be a transformational mindset coach. And a month later, the Northern Ontario Export Department, I'm in Canada, in Ontario, it's the northern part of the province. They contacted me and they asked me to be their consultant.
Oh.
1 month. And the only thing I said is that I said it 3 times. There's 3 higher management that say, is this position to replace you? And where are you going? Are you going to competition? And I was in a certain industry that did not understand the who stuff, right? So I just said, I'm changing industries. But the only reason I would come back to this industry is that I would be a consultant. And I said that 3 times. And a month later, I became a consultant in an industry that does not exist to be a consultant.
Wow.
And that's not something that I would have put how I'm going to be a consultant and convincing people that I know I'm an expert in this field. It just happened.
And that's the biggest thing about, visioning, and that is, as you said, give up the how and the why, because that's logic. It's like, you don't need to know. And that's one thing I had to give up. It's like, I don't need to know, but I do need to know. I want to know. And
Exactly.
Like, it can be really hard to give up the how and the why.
Yeah.
Because when you give that up, it can be even better.
Yes. Because like I say, I was going from a logic mind of international law and regulations to like suddenly I'm letting it go and I'm going with this. It was such a big, it was hard, but it was and I'm so happy I did that.
Yeah. And so you were talking about the 6 mental, I forgot the word you used.
6 mental faculties.
Thank you.
So as kids, we grew up with our 5 senses. That our 5 senses are physicality, like how we go through life with our human body. Our 6 mental faculties, there is imagination, perception, will, reason, memory, and intuition. So those are our 6 mental faculties. So which is our mental aspect of our life. And when we start learning how to perceive something differently, it's not necessarily what we see is what we see. There's many different layers of that. When we start working with our will and knowing the power of it and how we can use our will to change our vibrational like frequencies and energy, because everything is energy, right? So when we say, okay, we're going to change our energetic state because I'm noticing that I have negative thoughts right now. So you can change it at your will, make it, and then change your thoughts, basically. So those are the 6 mental faculties. There's so many. That's a 12-week program that I go through with people with that. But my base program has all different of those. Imagination, there's memory, there's will, like there's all of them is encompassed into that 12 basic week program.
Wow. That really fascinates me, because I've never heard it put that way before. And it's like,
yeah. It's fun, because when you learn that, it's just you're no longer going through life with your 5 senses. You're going through life with another way of thinking, another way of perceiving like scenarios and things like that.
That's really fascinating, because for those that have been following me for a while know that I did actually have mental illness. And so I did actually have to learn my own ways of doing things. I worked with a psychologist, which was great, but what really did help was when you said about when the negative thought comes in, working with that. And now for me, like I've had thoughts, even just this year, give up your business. And it's like, no. So that thought would come in, and immediately I'd sit with it and go, okay, why have you come in? Because there's a reason I came in. And then just went, no.
Good. That's good. Yeah. Because we have to be the guardians of our own thoughts. And then when you realize the negative thought, that's good that you did that. You notice what you're noticing, and then you say, is this true or not? And then you switch it into empowering thought or a positive thought. So I don't know, like I went trekking in Nepal, when I turned 40 years old. And I didn't even think about, like, I love traveling. I love trekking. I love mountains. So I was like, I'm doing this. So when I started telling people about it, I realized that those were the fears and their own doubts. Then suddenly came and creeped in my own doubts until I was like, whoa. And I realized, okay, this is their own fears, their own doubts. And I said, what have I do in the past that can prove to myself right now that I'm resourceful? I have self-trust. I can do this. And if I put my mind to it, I'll do this. And I became resourceful. So all of those thoughts and doubts that I had taken on from all the other people, suddenly I was able to push them away and come back to myself. I'm resourceful. I can do this. And I just need to make, because one of the things I had to do is a 20-pound backpack for 17 days. Wow. Right, because of the Sherpas was going to carry this. So I took a bar soap and I shaved it with a potato peeler and put it in a Ziploc bag. And then suddenly the weight of that soap is no longer weight. It's just very light. It fits in every quarts and crannies in my backpack. And when I use one, I just leave that wet soap right there. So I came up with these different resources of thoughts of how to bring my backpack down to 20 pounds, because I needed toilet paper. I needed everything to be in the woods. So when you come back and you come back to yourself, you focus on what is it you want to create, and you gain clarity on that. You can bring fear, but the fear can either push you or stop you. Yeah. And what is it that you really want to create in your life? He was pushing me to make sure that my lungs were good, my legs were good, and I had all of what I need to do this trek. Wow. Yeah.
I love that, because in talking about fear, and we'll talk about we'll lead into travel, because I want to talk about your retreat and everything you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. For me, my fear was I needed to feel safe. So I stayed in the healthcare field 10 years past burnout. Like, hello, and then when everything happened, well, it wasn't actually it's not a safe job when you actually really think about it. And so thankfully the universe listened to me and kicked me out.
And that's the thing. Life happens for us, not to us. And for me, my own passage is the transition that I came. I was like, why is this happening? Why is this happening to me? And sometimes certain things are happening to us to actually push us out to go into what we're supposed to be doing. If you're not listening and you're like, nope, I'm not doing this and not doing this, like what you did for 10 years, you stayed in this unhealthy environment for you, something's going to happen that's going to push you out in certain ways. So unfortunately, some people end up with so much stress that their body no longer is able to function. They don't listen to their bodies and they don't take action. So it becomes physical or mental. So when you first hear the first glimpse of that, listen to that and reconnect with yourself and make sure that you're being true to yourself and what is it you want to create in your life. Yeah. And don't let yourself come to that physical aspect that you're unable to create the life you want.
And that's such a good point. I want to reiterate that when that thought comes in, because we've got these energetic bodies. So when that thought comes in, it's here. But if you don't listen to it and you don't listen to it and you don't listen to it and you don't listen to it, it is going to hit physically.
Yes. And it does.
It does.
Because that's the way that's like hitting us in hard, and listen. And if you're not listening, then that's what's going to happen. Unfortunately.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And so now I want to talk about this beautiful like retreats and that you're setting up.
Oh.
Like when you talked about it before we started recording, I'm like, oh, I want to go, I want to go.
So basically, my passion has always been traveling.
Mm.
I'm French, and I went from a French town of 800 people and basically put myself in London, UK.
Wow.
And I did not little know of English.
Mm.
So that's kind of like these things that I tend to do, but I have traveled solo traveling. Like I went to Nepal.
Mm.
I'm going to Morocco at the end of this year and alone. I'm going to sleep in the dunes in the safari dune. And I've been to Iceland. I've gone all over your country,
Mm.
all over Australia, New Zealand, and that I did backpacking. I
Mm.
traveled with friends and I traveled with my daughter. I took my daughter for
Mm.
Scotland and I rented a caravan, a Volkswagen caravan, and I
Mm.
drove in Scotland. And she was like, "Oh, Mom, you're hardcore, but I want to
Mm.
have and give her an
Mhm.
experience." And so basically, I'm putting all my passions together, which is the
Mm.
mindset, which is the experience of discovering different cultures, different ways of living, different outside of our backyard. How do they live, right?
Mm.
And I'm also passionate. I love cooking. I love food. So I've put together this. It's in Italy, Amalfi Coast,
Mm.
and so in the mornings we do mindset. So we're going to talk about the mental faculties,
Mm.
and after the breakfast and stuff, we're going to go on sightseeing tours, which involves going to Pompeii, tour Capri Island, Nepali, Nepali.
Mm.
I say it in French, but yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And there's 2 other days that it's provolone cheese farm,
Mm.
and another day is olive oil, which they do. It's olives, which they
Mm.
do press olive oil. So at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, for 4 nights out of 6 nights, we have an Italian chef that's going to come into this beautiful kitchen, and they're going to teach us how to do like the Italian pasta and Italian cuisine. And we're going to eat our own food that night. It's good or bad, but we're eating the food that we've created. So basically, I want to create an experience. I
Mm.
want to like discover, like, and reconnect with oneself.
Mm.
And we're also releasing baggages that we carry
Mm.
from previous years, right?
Mm.
So I do have this little funny story. It's 8 men that's going to the Gulf, and the group first group of 4 men, they go and they hit the ball and they continue. And the second group, they go and they hit the ball and they continue. So the first group arrived at the 19th hole and they're waiting for the second group. And after an hour and a half, the second group arrives and they say, like, "Where were you?" And the second group answers, says, "You cannot believe what happened. On the first hole, Harry had a heart attack. So then we had to go carry Harry, hit the second hole, carry Harry, and hit the third roll. And now we've just arrived after an hour and a half." And basically, my question is, how many Harrys are you carrying through your life that you need to let go?
Ooh, that's a good question.
And when you release that with forgiveness and you release
Mm.
all that, that's like so much future and good
Mm.
stuff that can come in into your energy field,
Mm.
into your life.
Yeah.
So those are the baggages that we
Mm.
carry as we go on this adventure.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
release that, we leave that
Mhm.
into that country. When we come back, we've
Mm.
released those things.
Yeah, and it's just so amazing what you release. Like I needed to release the fact that I don't have my own house, and I'm happy with that. But what
Mhm.
I've got is I've got the experiences. I can go and I'll go, "Okay, I've done that, and I've done that, and I've done that." And
Yeah.
for me, that's more important than material stuff.
Me too. Me
Mm.
too.
Yeah.
Because it's whatever that you create for yourself and the adventures you learn.
Mm.
Because I always say that like you can't learn from a book what
Mm-hmm.
you go out and experience.
Mm.
You can
Exactly.
learn it,
Mm.
but it's a total different way of really encompassing it
Mm-hmm.
into your being.
Mm.
To read it, but
Mm.
when you exactly experiment it and live it,
Mm-hmm.
smell it,
Mm.
taste it, you can't find that in a book.
No, and I mean, I've got a really simple example. Like I'm now living in a house share house, and great, like awesome people. And so one of the ladies, or there's a couple over from Taiwan, and so I went to the local museum by myself and went, oh, I love this. And I took her, and to see it through her eyes, I'm just like,
Mm.
oh, that's
Yeah,
that is so cool.
yeah, it is. It's beautiful what we can experiment and
Mm,
experience as
mm.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. And then I'd really love to talk also about because we have sort of talked about it, but the power of vision. You know, how for someone watching this, how can they understand how important it is?
Our vision is you ask yourself, and that's one of the questions I ask people, and they don't know, they don't have the answers, and they don't know how to come up with that, is what would you love? What would you love for your life? And you start with like, I am so happy and grateful for, and then you see yourself in 3 years from now. But for me, okay, for an example, a lot of people will say, um, I want to travel. But what I'm encouraging people is to have visually their imagination to go real high, not knowing the how, just like, what would you love? And focus on that. So let's just say that you want to travel, but if you know that you want to go to Paris, you can go and say, well, I just bought this beautiful croissant and I'm making my way walking towards the Eiffel Tower.
Mm,
In your imagination, you're visualizing right at the spot where you
mm,
are, right? For me, in my vision, I wanted to go to Scotland, and I could see the green hills of the Highlands, and like the castles with
mm,
bricks and the humidity in there, but like still it's beautiful, the history. So I've put all those tiny little details into the vision.
mm,
And when I work with people, I do have a session that's vision calibration, and
mm,
it's putting those emotions, the
mm,
tone, the colors, and everything in the vision to make it like when you close your eyes and you see it, it
mhm,
feels expanding in your heart, because it's your heart talking, it's your
mm,
soul talking, it's
mm,
your infinite, like you can call it your universe,
mm.
infinite intelligence, whatever you want to call it, love, spirit, but that's what's in you. And if you can imagine it, you can create it.
Yep.
So as long as you, when you visualize it, you see the colors, you see the
Mm,
emotions, you see the tone, you see like tap, 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 tap. I've got my shoes, and it's there's this platform in France, and you can see the Eiffel Tower, and
mm,
it's just like big square, and you can hear my taps going
mm,
on the stones as
mm.
I'm walking towards it. So when you do that, and it speaks to your heart and soul, and you put all these emotions, that's very powerful.
And I totally agree with that because, I wanted to start a business. Like I had an idea, but the more that I envisioned it, the more that I felt it, the more that I knew it was going to happen, it did. It actually happened.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing, like, I was living in a unit for 11 years, and I had to, I got an well, not an eviction notice, but notice saying that, we wanted you out. And I was so certain that I was going to find a place. Like I even had a friend recently go, "You just had so much, you knew." And I went, "Yeah, I knew because I seen it. I absolutely
Hmm.
seen. I knew
Yeah.
that I was going to find a place." And
Yeah.
that's why it's so important that we do this beautiful visioning that you're talking about. We've
Yeah.
got to do that. That's so important. Yeah, we take the action, but the visioning and the emotion, when you can put emotion into it. Wow.
Yeah. For me, one example that's very powerful, like I'm a single mom, and I really wanted to resign from my day job and do this, work from home, put her in my schedule first and then mine, and so I had made an investment in a property a long time ago, thinking that would be my retirement plan. And my intuition, that still small voice, no panic, no, if it's a panic, it's ego. It's kind of like emotions to it. So that's your ego or scaredness. But when the still small voice happens, it's not frantic. It's just calm. I heard this voice that said, sell your condo on the water, and called up my realtor. And when I finished that call, I knew that was done.
Wow.
It was already in the past. Like in my own mind, it was done. It was past. And I was like, okay, what's next? And in 2 weeks, I had said, okay, this is the amount I'm going to get. And 2 weeks, it was done. But as soon as I closed the phone, my mind, it was like, okay, so I can sign this contract and I've moved on. I knew it was going to happen, just like what you said. It was just a done deal. It was already done.
Yeah. But also, as you said, right at the start, making the commitment. Making the commitment is such a big thing. Like, you know, because the fear comes in, it's like, oh, but do I, don't I? It's like, just make that commitment, because if you really want something, you've got to make that commitment.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my second key of mastering the results of your vision and creating your vision. Yeah.
Oh,
it's very powerful.
it is, isn't it? And I honestly could talk to you for hours about this, because this is what I absolutely love. And, you know, like I teach intuition, and, you know, I love it. So yeah, I honestly could talk to you forever.
Likewise.
Yeah, I love it when you can, you know, you can just meet someone and just know instantly that, you know, you just want to keep having a beautiful conversation.
Yes, maybe we can do this again.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Actually, that's something I'm going to be looking at, is getting my guest back again.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Brenda. And for anyone watching, in the description, I've actually got how you can find Brenda. I will also update and make sure we've got the sales page for your beautiful retreats, because that's something I really like as well. So we'll do that.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Okay, great.
Go and check Brenda out, stalker, whatever you want to do.
Thank you.
And just, yeah, absolutely. You know, like, it is so important. That what you've been talking about is so important. And so, yeah, for anyone watching, please rewatch.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome.